For this week's discussion video, one thing that stood out to me the most in McWhorter's TED Talk is how he talks about how through the ages we have been able to blend together speech and writing. And I think that something that is important that was missing from this point is also the importance of like who am I sending messages to, right? So with speech, it's known that it's definitely there's more freestyle. It's less reflective. It brings more of people's personalities when they speak. Whereas writing is intentional, there's structure, and he also made a point somewhere in the video where he talks about writing is something that I can look back to, right? So with knowing that someone can just pull it up, right, and go back to the writing, that also brings a level of like intention to what it is that I'm putting in the communication that I'm trying to send. And I think the second part of this thought is also knowing who am I actually communicating to, right? So if I know that I'm sending an email or I'm sending out a letter that's meant to be professional or have some sort of memo and communication, then that is going to have more of that formal structures and intentional grammar to convey the message as it's intended to. Whereas now with texting, that has been able to be more of that looser structure and just be able to send communication way faster. And I think that's also a component of that, where when I'm sending an email, I'm sending a letter, like there's going to be a longer time typically for the delivery to be sent. So it's also important to be intentional with what I'm going to send out. Versus with texting, I know that it's going to be delivered the second that I send it. So if I'm going to make any changes or I want to add anything on, it's easier to just send a follow-up message, right? So I think that those are like two different ideas that I thought about when he talked about speech and writing being blended together. And then how I think that this is different, or how it relates to the argument about language. I think it is important for us to have been able to also evolve with the ages. When they give the example of like LOL, right? So the meanings as the time has gone on has changed, and the way that people speak, the access to it is way different than it was before. And so in being able to still add the personality, still add people's like being able to add empathy and all of that in, and like I think setting the tone, that's where that evolution was also necessary for us to kind of like, it's almost like an unsaid language that we've been able to create throughout the years, to be able to connect and communicate. So I think the 2 points from here is really like looking at when are the moments that I want to have that structure and set a tone versus be myself and be able to again, like have easier access. So I think this was definitely a good reflection to just look at how times have changed throughout the years and how communication just continues to evolve. So thank you.